which is the most awaited for the day. That's Q&A with Patriji and Shreyans Daga. Go ahead, Shalini.
Thank you.
Since Karthikeyan sir also there, so we'll have Karthikeyan sir too on the panel to ask questions to masters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So, dear friends, as Chandra sir said, it is really an interesting factor of today's event. So, we also have Mr. Tangaveluji. So, Dr. Tangavelu, having grown up from a very, very humble background from Karnataka, Dr. Tangavelu is a self-made business leader, doctor, and social service leader from Coimbatore. He is the founder of Ashwin Cancer Hospital of Charity, providing free treatments, and founder of Ashwin Multi-Speciality Hospitals in Coimbatore. He also founded and runs PPG Group of Education Institutions in Coimbatore with 5,000 students. He is a keen explorer of life and practicing deep meditation these days. We welcome Tangavelu sir. So you have been a interesting questioner to Patriji, and through your questions we have got a lot of wisdom these days, sir. Thank you. I now invite Charu. Charu divides her time between her doctoral research at the Department of Philosophy, Delhi University, as the co-founder, and she's a chief editor at MD Publishing House. She's a certified philosophical counselor as recognized by the American Philosophical Association and regularly writes articles on various topics of interest to the civil society for popular magazines. She's also part of Mad Buddhas, where the animations, graphical design, illustrations, organizing national spiritual events, seminars, and lot more. I invite you, Charu. I also call upon Alekia. Alekia is a chartered accountant. Currently, she is working as a management consultant in the world's leading consulting firm, and she is a magazine editor and writer with an innate inclination towards psychology and philosophy. She is also a co-founder of a non-profit youth organization, Sinsai India, a voluntary youth movement that is actively working to promote mindfulness to schools, colleges, and corporates, as well as creating youth empowerment programs to spread the message of self-empowerment through meditation to one and all. Hi, Alekia. So over to Chandra, sir.
Thank you, Shalini. Friends, we have a broad panel of wait, Lawrence is joined. Lawrence is there on screen. Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there. So we have a broad panel of broad array of people from different walks of life, and we'll use this next 45 minutes in we as panelists asking questions to around meditation and manifestations at the work life to the best possible, into the business lives to the best possible, right? The questions as much as possible in that in the business and work life. For meditation manifestation, let's pose the questions to both to Patri sir and Shreyans Daga, and we'll also from participants we'll also be taking questions. So please do write in the Q&A. Those are in the webinar, and those watching live, write in your in the channel comments, and then our moderators will pick them up and then post them here for us. So we'll try to cover as many. So first, let me start with Tangavelu for a question. Dr. Tangavelu is very, very accomplished, but yet very humble. And so thanks for agreeing to be part of this panel. And then you have a question to anybody. I mean, Patri sir or Shreyans Daga.
Tangavelu sir, can you please unmute yourself? Thank you.
Namaskar, everybody. At the outset, I'd like to congratulate Chandra for organizing this wonderful one-day conference for this meditation conference. for corporate. And I also congratulate him for starting a Buddha CEO Foundation today. I wish him also, I assure him all my support from Coimbatore, and I congratulate him once again for this excellent gesture. And my questions always to only Brahmarishi. Brahmarishi, today morning I was listening to your lecture. You said yogi, dhyani, and rishi, Maharishi, and Brahmarishi. In that, I tried to put him in this 5 classification. I could not place me in anywhere. Probably I am in pre-KG stage, but you are a Brahmarishi. And we are all working people. I am a doctor, like that many of the participants are working. And Swamiji, what do you want us to become?
I want
I am-
you to become Brahmarshi. Nothing less than that would do.
Then you advise me to give up my work practice.
No,
and,
no. The Buddha remains in the palace. He does not go to the Himalayas. Buddha remains in the palace and does meditation, anapanasati. You remain with your job. Fulfill your job. Along with that, you must do meditation. 40 days to become a dhyani. You already become a dhyani. 40 days to become the yogi. 40 days become the rishi. Then 40 days for Rajarshi. Under 200 days, you will become a Brahmarshi. You are such a capable person. You have already become successful in your world, external world. Now you will become successful in internal world. 200 days, that's all, from today onwards. Not 200 days, 160 days, because you have already become a dhyani. A dhyani is an amateur apprentice. A yogi is a master. You have already become an apprentice. That's why you are in front of me. Now you will become a yogi in another 40 days. And another yogi, another rishi will become in 40 days. And a 40, 160 days, you will become a Brahmarshi Swamiji. Then there will be a healthy competition and rivalry between you and me.
Swamiji, I have one more question to you. You are saying for everything, meditation is the answer. Prescribe only meditation for everything. Again, I am a doctor, and we are coming across so many, problems, medical problems with people. I also, without knowing what is meditation, I used to say, if I don't know anything, if I don't have a solution in my day-to-day practice, I'll tell my patients that you do meditation. I did not know what is meditation and how to do that, all those things. But simply I used to say, for unanswered questions, I always say, you do meditation.
How come you did say that? Tell me, what is the source of that statement? What could be the source of that statement? You tell me now. Otherwise, I will tell you.
Swamiji, the idea is that so many medical problems, there is so much of psychosomatic overlay, psychological overlay is there. For example, one may have a small ulcer in the stomach, but because of his stress and work pressure, all those things can aggravate the disease. So we give medicine, and we say for this to solve the psychological overlay, sometimes we give antidepressants, sometimes we give some tranquilizers, and we advise them to go for meditation. That is a general, common sense, Swamiji. That's what I used to tell my patients.
Now you can be a teacher of meditation. You can tell them about the Anapanasati technique to all your patients and the relatives of your patients, the wider circle. A word from your mouth will be a law for the patient, Swamiji. A word from a doctor is a great law. Vaidyo Narayano Hari. So you are in the eminent position to give the advice of Anapanasati technique to everybody. In your patients in the hospital, when the patient comes, they should sit in the meditation first. 1 hour, then only they will come to you. They should come to you. In the outpatient yard should be a meditation place. There will be all statements about meditation on the walls, and there will be pyramids there, and they will sit under the pyramid, and one person will be there to teach Anapanasati in your hospital, in the outpatient yard. Only after they are done Anapanasati, they should come to you. So all these practices you should be established in your hospital. The word should come out of your mouth. You are the boss there. You are the CEO there. You are the king there. The king's word is the rule in the kingdom of the king. So I want you to do that, Swamiji, and be an example for the whole community, medical community. You are eminently fit, Brahmarshi Tangaveluji.
This was running in my mind for quite some time, Swamiji. So why not we set up a meditation center in one place of our hospital and also in our institutions? Why not we set up a meditation center without knowing much about these things? Now after coming to you, probably I am a better person, and I will do it, Swamiji.
One doctor in Karnataka, he has built a big pyramid in his own hospital area, and throughout the corridors, he had fit pyramids throughout the corridor in every room, and in his own doctor's chair above, he built a pyramid from Karnataka, was master, Dr. Gautam. He has done it already. Every doctor will do it within 10 years. The whole medical field will change. In AIMS, for the past 2 months, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, they are working with pyramid energy. Our master from Guntur, Lakshman Rao, is teaching all the AIMS people, AIMS doctors. They are finding wonderful use of pyramids in the AIMS. They put up 2 big wards with pyramid beds. They are doing it. And sooner, sometime or other, they will come out with their recommendation. It is happening, Swamiji. It should happen in you, Swamiji. Brahmarshi Swamiji, you, Tangaveluji. my competitor, my competitor.
We'll,
One more, if you permit me, one more question, Chandraji.
Can we come back to you?
Okay, thank you.
That's great. You started off the round with a great fire, so it's nice. Let me go to Sharu Tapliyal. We can't hear you. So any time? Okay. Okay, while you are, you're not muted, so you are, okay. So Lawrence, do you have a question to Shreyans or Patrisa?
So, sorry, you asking me if I have my
Yes.
question?
Yes.
I know that you don't have a question, but create a question.
No, I have a question. I must say I'm still with what you talked about a few minutes ago, right? About this Buddha CEO journey, and everybody around here, not by chance. I think it's synchronicity. I'm just always curious because we talked about intuition, inspiration, meditation. So is that strength that you have? It's a tricky question, but does it come from your own meditation, or does it come from, the people, you listen so deeply to everybody's soul that this kind of inspiration about Return to the Palace or the 10 years journey is coming to you. I have seen you doing that in the last 3 years I know you. So how can we develop even deeper intuition like that to be able to envision very bold things with confidence?
It is less of intuition, but more of what you want to create in the future. It's goal setting. What do you want in the future? We want meditation everywhere,
Yes.
and not in the next 100 years, in the 10 years. It cannot happen tomorrow. If you say tomorrow, you will be foolish. And if you say 100 years more, you are very lazy. So set a reasonable target. When I speak, always I take up the middle path, where it is neither foolish nor wild. A reasonable target. 10 years is a reasonable target for me. So it doesn't come out of my intuition. It comes out of my targeting the thing with my common sense, with my spiritual scientific temper. 10 years is the target. Every business should have targets.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
we also have our targets. Without targets, we won't be able to move in the way we want to move. Target is very important. You know, way back in 2004, I kept a target, Dhyana Andhra Pradesh. Then by 2008, I said Dhyana Bharat. 2012, I said Dhyana Jagat. By 2020, I said Ahimsa Jagat. So I was keeping all these targets in front of all the PSSM and working towards that. Don't bother about achieving the target, but keep the target.
Mm.
That is very, very important in management science. Crystal clear target. That is a very basic foundation of management science. So I apply my management science principles in my day-to-day PSSM work. So it doesn't come from my intuition, it comes from my scientific background. Management science.
Well, thanks for clarifying. I think so. We are all able to set targets then.
There are 4 types of thinking: disastrous thinking, negative thinking, positive thinking, and miraculous thinking. I put miraculous thinking in the forefront in every word that I speak, not positive thinking. Miraculous thinking. Jesus Christ said, "You can create greater miracles than I have done." That is a statement of Jesus Christ. So everybody is capable of creating miracles by adopting miraculous thinking. It is spiritual scientific logic. Whenever you open your mouth, your words should be miraculous words. Yes, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
As Dr. Karthikeyanji, nothing is impossible. So in 10 years, we should change the whole world. Where is the question of impossibility in it? There's no way. When so many great pastors are together, it is a team effort. It's a togetherness effort. It will create the whole world. Change the whole world. One Gandhiji created a big movement in the whole of India. And British had to leave India. Non-violence, not through violence. If Gandhiji could do that, we all can do that. We will do that. We can do that and we will do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence. Charu Taplial.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Am I back?
Yes.
Great. Sorry about that. So wonderful to be here with Patri sir in this capacity. Question I have for you, sir, is now COVID has given us a new definition of normal. A lot of people are working from home, and that is the way of the future. We're seeing a lot of companies have already used work from home to their employees for the rest of the year. And generally, this is a trend that is going to be followed. So, what are your suggestions as to how this new spiritual workplace at home should look and feel like? What are the additions that we can do to this workspace to kind of have a more holistic approach? That's my question.
I request Shreyas to give the answer.
No, sir, I request you to give it.
Yes, COVID. It is said to be trampling the whole world. It has brought America to the knees. Yes. Every material person needs to be brought to the knees. It's a tremendous shift is going on in the whole planet. I was waiting for such a thing in the year 2000. It didn't happen. I was worried why it didn't happen. In the year 2012, I was expecting something like this worldwide, which will bring all the humanity to the knees. It didn't happen. I was waiting and waiting. How long, how many years I must wait for? Then 2020 came. My waiting is complete. Now the COVID has come. It makes everybody kneel down, lock down, sit, do meditation, get rid of the fears and phobias, and become a Buddha. That is the message of the COVID. If you are Buddha, I will leave you. If you don't become a Buddha, I will catch you. It is a final ultimatum. Do or die. My Guruji, Sadhana Yogi, when I first went to him, he told me, do or die. Either you do it or die. Who cares for your death? My Guruji's message, way back in the year 1980, when I went to Swamiji, he was the greatest Brahmarshi. I was a budding Brahmarshi. He was the greatest, senior most Brahmarshi in the whole earth planet. He was 2000 years old. And he said, do or die, in the year 1981. So, Corona's message is also the same, do or die. No in-between formula. What should you do? You should become a vegetarian. You should become a meditator. Or quit the body. We can't allow you to be in the body and be a burden to the earth, Mother Earth. Whatever my Guruji told me in the year 1981, in the 2020, Corona is telling to every person, do or die. Thank you, Charuji.
Excellent, sir. So there's only one answer, meditation, and the answer. So that's great. And so let me see here. Yes, we'll go to Karthikeyan sir. Do you have any? Would you like to ask something to Patri sir?
I think we have been asking too many questions and I've been enjoying all the answers. Today we had a lot of benefit. I think people who want to ask questions, for example, Dr. Thangavelu still has got some question.
Yes.
Back to Thangavelu.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And that we enjoy the question and answer.
I
The
like him.
master-
I like him the most.
I know, and that's why I want Swamiji also to be happy, Thangavelu also to be happy, and we will all be happy with the answers.
Brahmarshi Thangavelu back.
Dialect dialogue.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. And Swamiji, in the morning I listened to you. You said at the age of 8, when children used to read rhymes, you read my experiment with truth by Mahatma Gandhi. At the age of 10, you said Santiniketan, some book by Rabindranath Tagore. At the age of 14, you said Indian philosophy by Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. How is it possible, Swamiji? Were you a child prodigy?
Swamiji, at the age of 5, Dr. Mangalpalli Balakrishna gave Carnatic music kacheris. At the age of 4, Mozart composed his first great music. How did that happen? Everything comes from the past lives. Your past lives have created you, current Thangavelu. My past lives have created my current fellow. So, 99% comes from our past lives, and 1% we add on this lifetime. We build upon the past. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a shloka. Lord Krishna says, Bahuni Janmani Tavacharjana, Tanyaham Veda Sarvani, Natum Veta Parantapa. It means, hey Arjun, you and myself, we have taken many lifetimes. You know nothing about them, but I know everything about them. Your my lifetimes and my lifetimes also. Bahuni Janmani Me Tavacharjana, Tanyaham Veda Sarvani, Natum Veta Parantapa. From Bhagavad Gita. Another shloka, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Jnanavan Ma Prapadyate. After many lifetimes, a person becomes a wise person and he realizes himself. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Swamiji, you have taken many lifetimes before. I have taken many lifetimes. I am the result of my past lifetimes. My wife is the result of her past lifetimes. My mother is the result of her past lifetimes. And you are the result of your past lives. And Sri Kartikeyanji was with Gautam Buddha in that incarnation. That's why he's with us today. He's a part of this moment because he was a part of that moment. He was a very key figure with Buddha, Dr. Kartikeyanji. We know about him.
When Chandra, I will ask the last question. If after all of them have exhausted, I will ask the last question if there is time.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Everybody is over?
No, we're still going around.
No, ask them because I don't want to deprive others of their opportunity.
So there are a lot of questions, so no problem, sir. I'll come back. So we had one from one doctor in Chidambaram asking a question about how do I advise the patients to relieve this stress, and stress is the main reason for all illnesses. So we told them that, sir, we will connect you to other medical doctors who are practicing this and doing it regularly in our organization. We'll connect you to them, and then so you can definitely take it forward for your clinics and patients. Thank you. And I'll come to Alekhya.
Namaste. But my question to Patri sir, I have a couple. I'd like to first go with the definition of the word intuition and strategy.
Repeat.
Intuition and strategy.
Okay. I'll give you a few more words.
Yes, sir.
Impulse.
Impulse. Okay.
Instinct.
Instinct.
Intelligence. Intellect. And then intuition. Impulse in the mineral kingdom. Instinct in the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom, second dimension. Intelligence in the third dimension, human being. In the human being, there are three levels: intelligence, intellect, and intuition. This is how the evolution has happened. You know, in the mineral kingdom, impulse is not I am. There is nothing inside there. Impulse. Okay. So when plant kingdom, animal kingdom has come, the im has become in. Something is inside. The soul has come inside to establish the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. The soul is very, very rudiment in the mineral kingdom. So it is not in. It's not impulse, it is impulse. I am. In the second dimension, the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom, the instinct has come. The instinct is there. The plants instantly go to the sunlight. So when you come to the human kingdom, the third dimension, intelligence, then intellectual. Pandit Radhakrishna is a great intellectual. Kapil Dev is an intelligent bowler. Radhakrishna is the intellectual master. Bernard Shaw, intellectual master. After that stage comes intuition. All the rishis are intuition. They hear inside the dimensions and they reveal that. So the final stage is in the human kingdom is intuition. intuition, learning from your own self. Intelligence, in, everything, the word in the middle term it is im, I am, not, there is nothing in there. The in is very rudimentary, as if it is not there. The consciousness is not there. But in the plant kingdom, consciousness surfaces. The plants are aware. They are aware of your emotions, feelings. When you touch them happily, they are happy. Receive. If you are rude to them, they are unhappy. If you are rude to the dog, it is unhappy. If you are happy, loving to the dog, it swings its tail. So intuition is the highest state in the human kingdom. First of all, you become intelligent. The original man, he created fire. He was intelligent enough to create fire. Then the whole intellect came. Who am I? What am I? That is the intellectual part. When you find out what you are, then you are candidate for intuition. Okay. You become the source of intuition. You don't go to other teachers to learn. Teaching comes from inside. So these are the words: impulse, instinct, intelligence, intellectual, and intuition. That's the answer for you, son, madam.
Sir, strategy?
Strategy. When you are intelligent, your strategy is intelligence. When you are intellectual, your strategy is intellectual. When you are an animal, your strategy is instinct. But when you are a meditator, your strategy is intuition.
Oh my God.
PSSM has come out of my intuition. I have to do it. And this Buddha CEO Foundation comes out of our collective intuition. It has to be done. How did we get this idea? From inside, from our intuition. The strategy is the same at the level of the concept. Thank you for asking a good question.
Thank you, sir. I can come back if there are other questions. I'd be happy to.
Not now. Only one question allowed.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Arikia. So excellent answer. I'm still trying to understand or grasp all those words. In the meanwhile, it's a question that regularly we hear. And as a working woman, I'm in dilemma whether to focus on my career or focus on bringing up my children. And in many a times I'm carrying this guilt too, if I'm fulfilling my responsibility well. So please help me address, how do I overcome this?
If you are carrying a guilt, you can never perform perfectly. You must get rid of your guilt. In Hindi we say, Raat gayi to baat gayi. So you must not have the guilt. Yesterday night you fought with your husband, but today you are happy. You are no more fighting because the past is past. Every guilt is a fresh blunder. You should remove the guilt from your mind. Then you can perform well. Carry dual responsibility, both the family and the job. Remove guilt. Your guilt is eating you. It's a cancer of the soul. The soul is rendered immobile because of the guilt complex. No more guilt. As Jesus said, everybody is a sinner. Then you are also sinners. Where is the guilt? Jesus said to that lady, prostitute, when people were throwing stones on the prostitute, he said, those persons who have not committed sins, they can throw the stones on her. And nobody could do that because they know their own sinners nature. So everybody is guilty. You are also guilty. No problem in that. Everybody else is equally guilty. So your guilty is common. Forget about it. When you remove the guilt from your mind, you are enlightened. And you can carry all the responsibilities, family responsibilities, community responsibilities, worldwide responsibilities. All you can manage. in one time, in one place. Remove the guilt. How can you remove the guilt? You must come into the spiritual fold. You must enter the Sajjana Sangatya. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Then you will remove the guilt. Then you will be able to perform well. Whether you are a king or a household wife, doesn't matter. The principles are the same. No more guilt. You must have taken meat, but now that you have become a vegetarian, forget about it. Raat gayi to baat gayi. We will face the consequences. No more guilt. Every guilt is a fresh blunder. Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. Shalini, do you have Mr. Umesh ask the question?
Yes, sir. Mr. Umesh? Mr. Umesh, you can go ahead.
Yeah, Pranam Patriji. Today's sessions are very nice, especially Shreyans Daga's meditation. It was wonderful. No words to say. It was wonderful. I need that part of meditation. It was very nice. It was wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. I just want to say thank you to all masters. It was a great platform. Thank you very much for each and every one, all the masters. Thank you.
You are
so
welcome,
much.
Baba.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Umesh.
Thank you so much. Ji.
Okay, returning back to, we will do for another 5 minutes, and then we will still want to get we are on time. So another 5 minutes, we want to still get at least 10 minutes of meditation from you, and then we'll go to the vote of thanks to close. So Karthikeyan, I will give you your questions. Sometimes this goes to a little longer. Yes, sir.
Okay, there is a background to my question. Long, but I will make it very short. You know, during the critical days of my investigation of Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, a case which nobody wanted to handle in Delhi, and ultimately I accepted it, even though they said it may not be possible to detect. It may end up like Kennedy assassination and all that stories. I took up the investigation. I mentioned about this nothing is impossible thing in the morning, okay? But beyond a point, I was left alone to defend it. I didn't mind about the deadliest terrorist group, which has killed their own president and defense minister and so many people. That's not the point. But another thing is protecting the integrity of the investigation from the manipulations of our own political leaders of various parties. And then the threat faced by the witnesses, they are hesitant because they may be killed and all that. Anyhow, that was a situation where I found everybody was sympathetic to me, but I was left all alone to defend it, to defend my people also. So I went and took two things. One is Kailas Mansa Yatra and came back, because that's the time when nothing was happening in the investigative trial. And they had to take 2 months to translate all the documents into Tamil. So that was the time it's available. I got to get the Prime Minister's permission to go. All right. Then I went for 10 days of Vipassana meditation. I heard so much about it. It's a very tough meditation. 10 days of morning to night. All right. And then Patriji also knows about that. He said he went through, but then he didn't complete it. Okay. Now, after that, I found that there's such a big difference. It gave me enormous confidence, clarity of mind, and the courage and determination to face anything. Anybody, the mightiest in the world, mightiest powerful people also. So when I came out, the media was there because I was, at that time, everybody was after me. So I told him it's something great. It's something. Then I wrote to the director. I was the only one who was also in the CBI, also in the Central Reserve Police Force. I wrote to the director of CBI and the director general of Central Reserve Police Force, stating every officer of these forces should undergo this Vipassana meditation because they go through a lot of stress and all that. Both of them wrote to me, but 10 days is too long. Can it be brought down to 5 days? So Satyananda Goenka Guruji was very close to me. Like I enjoyed his confidence and affection, like I do so with Pasiji today. And he told me, I think his letter must be still with me. He said, Karthikeyan, when I learned in Burma, it was a 3-month-long meditation. But when I came back on being directed by my Buddhist master, take it back to India, after 2000 years, 500 years, very difficult for me to persuade people, and I reduced it to 1 month. Ultimately, because to popularize it, I made it to 10 days. Less than 10 days, it cannot be effective. This is what I'm saying. He told me it's impossible to reduce it below 10 days. My simple question with Patriji is again and again, he knows that when I'm raising this issue. One, how did these, the Anapanasati meditation is taught there in 3 days, actually, first 3 days. One is, after so many people are doing it, how did you find that this Anapanasati meditation, simple meditation, can be effective? And number two, what made you determined to spread it across the world? Today, millions of people are following it. Today also we are here because it's made possible. Corporates in America, everywhere do it because it's a simple but effective. I want to know, how did you realize that this Anapanasati meditation is good enough? And what made you think it should be spread everywhere and then giving up your job, walking around and all that in stages? These are the two simple questions. I thought it will be of great benefit to everybody else also to get your answer.
Swamiji, I also went to Vipassana in Hyderabad. I stayed there for 1 day and ran back home.
You told me, yes. You were honest enough to tell that, yes.
So I was there for 1 hour with Brahma Kumaris in Chikkarpalli in Hyderabad and went back, no, not for me. I immediately know what is not for me.
Okay.
That is the intuition I have, which is the result of all my past lifetimes.
Oh.
Goenka has his own past lives. I have got my own past lives.
Yes.
My own past lives research had told me that I was with Gautam Buddha for 40 years in that incarnation. And I accept that statement after my own experience. I feel very comfortable with Buddha. And on a few things, I am not comfortable with Buddha also. Buddha did not allow women inside his Sangha. And he did not go back to the palace. And he made his wife suffer, which I didn't like. But I liked the Anapanasati. I knew it was correct. But when I came to know from one of my friends, Ramachandra Reddy, he was doing meditation. One day he called me by phone, Antapur to Kannur, about 150 kilometers. Hey, Subhash, I am able to see you from my home. You are wearing this shirt, kurta. Your wife is frying the potato there. I went there and saw she was frying the potato. So that broke the ice for me. How can he see me, my house, from 150 kilometers away? I caught meditation red-handed. It came to me because I was in search for truth. When the disciple is ready, master will appear. So I got through my friend. I asked him, how are you doing meditation? He said, breath meditation. How did you get it? He gave me the source of his guru also. So then I got it. I knew intuitively it is correct. Then I practiced for 3 years, from 1976 to 79. Then I got to read Tibetan master Lobsang Rampa. Everything fell in place. My intuition must be of a very high standard.
Yes.
And that high standard must have come from my past lifetimes. Because everything comes from past lifetimes.
Yes.
Your intelligence, your intellect, your intuition all come from past lives. So my intuition has come from past lives. Swamiji, your intuition to be with me has come from your past lives.
Yes.
Tangaveluji is staying here now is because of his intuition. When he recommended meditation to his patients, how did that come from? It has come from his intuition, not from his teaching. He intuitively spoke those words. That intuition comes from past lives. Whoever comes to me, I know that he comes from a great number of past lives of meditation. Otherwise, he cannot come to me. Supposing I am sitting on the Mount Everest, supposing, who will come and shake hands with me? That person must also have climbed the whole Mount Everest. Then only he can come and meet me, not otherwise. If you are at the foothills of the mountain and I am sitting on the mountain top, how can you shake hands with me? How can you come into my contact? I know that I am sitting on the Everest. And whoever I see meeting me, oh, you have come to the Everest. You are such a great master. I see immediately the master in the other person who comes and meets me. In the year 97, I met Shreyans Daga. His sister told me, my brother is a very great master. You should go to Mumbai. But I had an opportunity to go to Mumbai. I wanted to send my mother and my mother-in-law to Hong Kong. The flight was only from Mumbai. So I had to go to Mumbai. I called Shreyans. Swamiji, will you come and pick me up from the airport? He readily came. I went to his home. And he was a small boy at that time. But he listened to me. Why did he choose to listen to me? He became an instant meditator. That comes from his intuition, his past lifetimes. He was the original builder of the great pyramids in Egypt in those days. He was the original builder of the great pyramid, which is a world wonder. And no wonder that he has come back to build the pyramids in Pyramid Valley. No wonder. Everything comes from the past lifetimes. Karthikeyanji, your life is from your own past lifetimes. You were a cousin of Buddha, a direct cousin of Buddha. So many lifetimes are there. Nothing comes from nothing. So the answer to your question, how did you find out? Through my intuition. Nobody guided me. I had to follow on my own intuition. I did that. After some time, I resigned my job. I have to do that. I have to go from pillar to post. If I don't do it, who else will do it? If Gautam Buddha does not go to the world and teach meditation, who else will teach? If I have come to know about meditation, then who else is going to teach? I am the person to teach. And I can't be in a corporate company, fertilizer company, and yet teach the whole world. It's not possible. You have to get one, you have to leave one. You can't do two things at a time. So I left my job. I was very, very happy to become a jobless person. I was very happy. Now I can be on the streets, fulfilling my heart's content. I can go from every house. I go to every house. And I was happy to go to Mumbai and stay with Shreyans Daga. And once I got Shreyans Daga, I got the whole of North India to me. Until that time, I was only confined to South India. But once Shreyans Daga is there, he took me to Betul, Madhya Pradesh. From there, I went to Raipur, Chhattisgarh. He opened the gates for me. And he continues to open the gates for me. He's such a great master, Shreyans Daga.
The
I
second
didn't-
question,
Yes, sir.
what gave you the urge to keep traveling and teaching people?
Swamiji,
You're a non-stop traveler all over, by bus, train, car, flight, everything, non-stop, even to the extent of neglecting your own physical health. What gave you that urge to keep on doing it?
my target to help the whole world. That's my target. If 700 crores people are there, I must shake hands with every person. So I go to every person and shake hands. What happens when you shake hands? The energy flows from a higher level to lower level. I must shake hands with every person, human being. In another 70 years, I will shake hands with all the human beings all over the world. It is my target that keeps me going. I have fixed up targets. I am the person to help the whole world. I won't allow anybody else to do it. I will be the person to do it. So that's it. When the decision is made, when the goal is clear, the path is clear, the work is clear, you are no more tired. How did Gandhiji work? Because his goal was clear. The British should not be in India. Quit India. That's all. Gandhiji's goals made Gandhiji. Columbus' goals made Columbus. Buddha's goals have made Buddha. Einstein's goals have made an Einstein. And my goals have made me. It is the same truth everywhere.
Thank you.
The goals, you are what your goals are. Whenever I meet a person, I will ask him one more question. What do you want to do in your lifetime? Not tomorrow, day after, in your lifetime. What do you want to achieve? There I get the answer. Whether he is my man or not. Only one question. And my people will always come to me. Birds of the same feather flock together. Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karthikeyan sir, and Sir Patrisa, for those candid answers. We take the best from everybody. You mentioned about Buddha, the things. This has been our personal experience when we are traveling with Patrisa, with this Grand Master. So we take the best from everybody, every master that we're encouraged to read and learn from, and then take and integrate them into our lives. So thank you, sir, for this. When the goals are clear, then absolutely everything is clear. So then we just charged on.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Chance, yes.
And sir, we all, sir, the beauty about, sir, that you inspire everyone. There's no, you don't, we're not motivated by you. We are inspired by you. I mean, because you're living your truth. You're not just telling us, you're actually living your truth. And in an organization compared to other organizations where PSS movement is a very, very non-structured based organization, where it is very free for all. Anybody can come in, anybody can go. It is each spiritual society is independent on its own. But what keeps everyone together, and as Patrisa said, birds of same feather flock together, is I think you are a source of such a huge tower of inspiration, because you live the truth. And I always seen that, sir, that your truth, since the day one when I met you till today, your truth is always, the truth has been constant. Because as you rightly said, from your past life or from your intuition, you chose the highest truth and you kept living. So I also, I mean, even though you tell us and you are guiding us to so many other teachers and masters and books, and we go there everywhere and we learn from all of them, but eventually we come back to you because the inspiration comes from you. And very rarely we see a master actually living a truth. It's one thing to teach and one thing to live. And with you, there's absolutely no difference between your teaching and your living. So thank you, sir. And we feel so blessed. And so I think our life, as a whole lifetime, we are so blessed. And it's a great blessing to the universe. We always feel that we found you, and you keep always inspiring us. Thank you, sir.